Obviously, we know our students are our future, and I think people really get a chance to see that as opposed to coming into a facility that isn't well kept and you don't have the different parts of the organization working, whether it's our lawn crew, making sure that front lawn's mowed before the people get here.
Welcome to Facility Maven here on Podbean, a podcast where your questions on facility and cleaning issues are answered by mavens in your field. This podcast is brought to you by FacilityMaven.com, where you can elevate your career with facility and cleaning supplies. Hello, folks, everyone. This is Dave Thompson. I am the host of your podcast this afternoon. And yes, we're taping another episode. Well, it's all about facility maintenance. And I am not one of those people to talk about facility maintenance. Well, unless it talks about custodial, then I'm all over it. But, facility maintenance goes past custodial stuff, goes into all kinds of things. And Kenny Seybold was gracious enough to start our, I won't say sessions, but he talked about communication last time. Kenny, are you on with us today?
I am, Dave. Well, thank you for having me again. It's my pleasure.
Well, the last time we talked, it was all about communication. And, I talked with a couple other facility managers, and it seems to be that's all that anybody wants to talk about.
Well, and you're right. There is a lot more to that. And hopefully this session I can offer a little bit of that. But it's definitely the key factor with facility maintenance and, just making sure you're not double booking or you don't have, two things going on at the same time where your staff is needed. As we know with custodians, we're our workforce, we're desperate to get people. And so we're all working, with limited human resources. And so it's really critical that you're making the best of those resources. And, you're getting people where they need to be and you're helping, in our case, our school district and some of the other, outside organizations that come in to use our facility. So it's key for us. We just this past week, we have a big, of course, I've told you about our home show, but we have this Friday is the Flagler County Garden Show. Which will be at Flagler Palm Coast High School. It'll be in their gym. And there'll probably be, I want to say maybe 60 to 100 vendors there. And now when I say a vendor, they pretty much just have a 6-foot banquet table and they're putting some of their things up. And a lot of it is just helpful hints on how to maintain a good garden, how to keep your tomato plants healthy.
Well, I'd have to drive up and see all that if I had a garden still, but I live in a motorhome park now, so I don't have all that issue anymore. Yeah. But I appreciate that. Wait a minute, 60 to 100 vendors. Yeah. You're going to talk about thousands of people. That's going to be a facility nightmare.
Well, I hope it's not a nightmare. I'm one aspect of it. I'm not the main planner. We have a facility coordinator and she does a great job. And, we meet with her regularly so that we don't have those nightmare situations. But we haven't done it because of COVID. I think we haven't done this garden show in the last 2 years. So I don't know what our attendance will be like. And, a lot of the vendors are just, I should also call them, they're people that are part of the garden club here in Flagler County. So I'm saying vendors, I'm loosely using that terminology. It could be, it's just people that are part of this club and they show off a lot of their plants and there's, obviously people can come in, purchase things. But it is a nice event. But our aspect of that in terms of what we do is getting a protective flooring down in our gym, getting the table, set up the chairs. And then, once the event goes, we do have, a staff there to kind of clean up, make sure our restrooms are, because you do have people coming in and out. And, we did a survey from our home show and one of the, kind of asked people for their biggest positive. And overwhelmingly, it was people were so happy and impressed that the restrooms were clean, which made me feel good, made our staff feel good. So we just, we want to maintain that appearance and kind of be that positive part of our community. So when things do go on here at our school, a lot of these people that come for these events here in our community, they're retirees. They've already put their children through school, and it's not necessarily Flagler County schools, because a lot of people are retiring from the North states, and they come down here and see our schools. So it's important to us that, they are taxpayers, and that they see their taxpayer dollars are going to worthwhile causes, and that they're still filling that need. I know a lot of times when people retire, sometimes they're like, well, I already paid my taxes and I've done my share. But I think that's an impact for them, just to see a well-maintained school. Obviously, we know our students are our future. And I think people really get a chance to see that, as opposed to coming into a facility that isn't well kept, and you don't have the different parts of the organization working, whether it's our lawn crew, making sure that front lawn's mowed before the people get here, weeds are pulled out of a flower bed. We have a safe and presentable area for the show to go on. Those are all critical for people to see in our community. So, in terms of our facilities, that's one thing that we have coming up this week, actually.
Well, you talked about retirees and all of that and everything, and we're just coming, some people say we're out of COVID. I don't know if we're really out of it or not, but we're moving around like we are. Health is primary, still on people's minds, even though we're going out there. But you talked about retirees and stuff, and it happens to be that my wife is now walking around with a cane now to help her. Mm-hmm. And I think there's these considerations that as facility maintenance people, you have to think about all avenues of this, not just from a singular viewpoint. I know with her, it's, do you realize that you put the trash cans and the fence out too far? You didn't give me enough room to get around the corner.
Right.
All of these things, when you're setting up an event like this, facility maintenance has a lot of details.
Yeah. So we're, to your point, we've kind of, we're not requiring people. There's no mask mandate. Obviously, we here in Florida and with our school district, we recommend social distancing still, but it's not something that we're regulating. But the things that we do to kind of assure people that we are still concerned about the virus is we're constantly cleaning high traffic areas, high touch point areas. We're wiping down, we're cleaning those type of things, cleaning the restrooms, of course. And just, making sure that our community sees that and that they're feeling safe, here in our facility. Because you're right. We are, I don't know, is the virus, are we done with the virus? Are we not done with it? I don't know. I don't know who does know that answer. But we still have to, not so much even give the presents, because it's the right thing to do, but making sure we're doing what we need to. I think there's some, at the end of the day, I think there's some really good habits that came out of this pandemic for us. And so I think it's good that we continue to use these habits in everyday life.
Oh, I totally agree with you, Kenny. I mean, the whole world, the U.S., our local communities, everyone at all levels have gotten more hyper aware, which is a good thing for our industry. And it brings to the forefront what we do in custodial. Who's responsible? You mentioned the flower beds and the lawn and stuff. I mean, I don't think a lot of people think about, everybody, there has to be a whole team of people working to get all this done.
Yeah. So, again, I can only speak directly to Flagler County. And of course, the other part of facilities too is, your athletic fields. I mean, that's a important thing that happens, our extracurricular activities. So each of our two high schools has their own field maintenance teams, if you will. Flagler Palm Coast High School is a little bigger. They have a little more acreage. So I think they, when I say you have half a person, it's not actually half a person. It's a part-time person. So they have, I think they have 4.5 people, and Matanzas High School, our other high school, has 2.5 or 3.5 people. So, 3 full-times and 1 part-time person. So they're maintaining a lot of the grounds areas, the flower beds, courtyards, whatever the case might be at each school. Obviously your athletic field, your baseball field, your softball field. You could do a whole story about what goes on there in terms of, seating and when you're taking care of your fields, the maintenance that goes into that is just is amazing.
As you're talking about this, I'm thinking, we live here in Florida. Lawn maintenance and flower bed maintenance is a year-round thing for us.
Right.
Now, some of the people that may be listening to this going, hey, I ain't got to that yet, or, spring is just now starting, but everybody's going to be in summertime. Facility maintenance going to be challenged now?
Well, I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, you want to stay, ahead of the game. I mean, you have irrigation issues that you have to take care of sometimes with facility maintenance and situations like that. So I think actually for us in the schools, we're very busy now with our athletic fields. We have track going on, we have baseball going on, you have, unique to Florida, and I forget what other states, but spring football. So you want to, have your fields ready for that. And then once spring football ends, then we go about aerating our fields. A lot of this I'm aware of because I was an athletic director as well. So, but actually when the summertime kind of rolls around, we kind of get our fields get a breather. So that's good for us and our athletic fields. And then of course, once fall comes around, it becomes super busy, obviously with football and some other things that go on, and your band practice fields. So yeah, there's a lot from facilities there as well. Custodial somewhat helps out there a little bit, but in terms of that specific aspect of it, it's really each school here in Flagler County has their own field maintenance team.
Kenny, I can feel a whole nother podcast with you about summertime and custodial. We're not going to get into that this afternoon. We're going to save that for another episode. Yep. But I think that what you're saying here is from setting up for an event using inside facilities to the athletic fields, the springtime, and just coming out of COVID adds a whole lot of character to facility maintenance now. Oh,
there's no question about it. There's a lot of balls in the air. We're a 2 high school county. Our neighbors to the north, I think, what do they have, 8 or 9 schools, and the high things that they do, that goes on there is just multiplied. And then can you imagine going somewhere down to a Dade County? Although Dade County, unfortunately, I don't know if a lot of their schools actually have, they kind of use community fields and things like that. But
so I hear that you're going to move up north, so you'd have the challenge of like 8 or 9 schools.
Dave, I'm next year's my 38th year in education, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I hope it's not a train coming at me, but I've had a great career, and I don't know what I'm going to do next. Will be, I had 8 years up in New York, as we've talked about, and next year's my 30th year at the Flagler County Schools. So not sure what I want to do come, July 1st, which would mark my 30th anniversary. But so
in other words, I need to get a few more podcasts in with you before you leave, because I might not have you around anymore.
I have to, it was funny because a real quick story. We had a meeting up by a middle school, which is only about 5 minutes from my house. And my office is about 20 minutes from my house. So the meeting ends and I'm like, well, it's towards the end of the day. I'm not going to drive all the way back down to my office. So I just headed home early that day, got home, sat out on my lanai. And one of my hobbies I love doing, I think we taught, is I'm fortunate now in our house that we've downsized. I have this beautiful natural barrier and I've set up a lot of bird feeders. So I was sitting out there and had my binoculars looking at the birds, and my wife kind of comes in and says, "You are definitely going to get a job when you retire. You're not going to sit out here and watch birds all day." So I don't know folks, what will happen yet.
Kenny is going to stay with facility maintenance for a little bit longer, folks. So we're going to have him back on the air, and we don't know if he's going to watch birds, but I guarantee he probably won't be on a podcast with me when he does that.
It's a great hobby. I highly recommend it.
Okay, folks, we like for you to like and share what we do here on our podcast. Please follow us. We've got a lot more tips that are going to be coming your way. If you pay attention to any of our podcasts, you know that we like to make sure that we stay healthy, positive, and proactive. Kenny, I know that we'll be talking again probably before the end of April. We just started April, so we got a lot more spring yet to go. Thanks for your time today.
I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you.